When you mention Elmer Keith, the first thing that comes to mind is a wrinkled and scarred old man wearing a giant 10-gallon Stetson cowboy hat and smoking a big cigar or chomping down on a briarwood pipe. Most of all, you think about the man who helped create the .357, .44, and .41 Magnum cartridges, ushering in the Magnum handgun era. Now, what you don't think about is Elmer Keith, the gun collector. Not only did Keith enjoy shooting his guns, he enjoyed collecting and showing them off as well. And here we have 4 beautiful pieces from Elmer's well-beloved collection. Now we'll start with the oldest of the 4 right here, and this is Colt 1851 Navy that Keith acquired from Major R.E. Stratton, 1st Texas Regiment, Confederate States Army, who according to Keith carried a pair of these with him during the Civil War. Now this well-preserved 1851 Colt features beautiful engraving along the barrel, the sides right here, along the frame. It has the classic steerhead carved into the grip and Keith's name inscribed on the top of the barrel. When Keith acquired this 1851 from Stratton, he inquired about the whereabouts of the mate to the gun, which Stratton replied back that he had lost it and his left arm in a gunfight in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and suggested that Keith go check out the Cheyenne area if he was interested in finding the mate to this gun. Now, going on to our next revolver is Keith's 1917 Smith & Wesson. This revolver shipped to Springfield Armory June 4th, 1918. It was engraved by Tom Morrow of Walla Walla, Washington in 1974. It features a beautiful arabesque pattern along the frame, the barrel, and the cylinder. Now this also has a wonderful feather pattern engraving along the top strap, coming down the yoke and down below the cylinder on the frame. This also has a wonderful high relief carved Federal style eagle on the grip and a wonderful gold inlay spread winged eagle on the side plate. Now moving on to our next gun right here is one of Keith's favorites, which is the pre-29 .44 Magnum revolver. This was shipped to Elmer Keith on November 20th, 1956. Now originally this shipped to Keith with the red ramp front sight, white outline rear sight, target hammer, target trigger, and Goncalo Alves target grips. The engraving was done later in 1959 by George S. Dallas and features wonderful arabesque patterns along the barrel, the frame, and the cylinder, leaving the cylinder flutes untouched. This also has wonderful vintage grips with a high relief carved Federal style eagle and a gold shield on the left grip that says presented to Elmer Keith by Carl R. Hellstrom. Now, Hellstrom was president of Smith & Wesson at the time and was good friends with Keith as well and knew what kind of role Keith played in the development of the .357 and .44 Magnum cartridges. Now Keith was just a little bit of a leather snob, and it shows in the holsters that he had custom made. This one was made to his specifications by Boland's of Hollywood, California, and is leather lined and floor tooled along the outside of the holster. Now last we have one of Keith's favorite single action revolvers, the Ruger Blackhawk. Whenever Bill Ruger introduced the Blackhawk in 1955, Keith fell in love with the gun because it was almost everything he had been looking for in a single action revolver. It featured a reinforced top strap, adjustable sights, and coil springs, unlike the Colt single-action revolvers, which were still using fixed sights and the old-style leaf springs. This one was purchased by Keith in 1971 and is in .45 Colt. If Keith had had this gun several years before, the .44 Magnum might have never happened because he literally could not blow up the .45 Colt. He just loaded it and kept on loading it to extreme pressure and it didn't blow up. These were amazing guns. Now this Blackhawk was special ordered by Keith in 1971 with a 4 5/8 barrel, brass grip frame, and it also has a silver medallion inscribed with Elmer Keith on the right grip and a silver elk inlay on the left grip. This is one of Keith's favorite guns right here. Now one more unique feature about this Blackhawk is that the trigger guard is just a little bit different, and that is because this is Keith's preferred Dragoon style grip frame. And due to the heavy recoil that Keith was getting out of his Super Blackhawk and Blackhawks as well, Keith preferred this grip frame. Elmer Keith loved collecting guns, whether it be black powder up to modern cartridges. Not only did he collect them, he shot them as well. These fine revolvers are just a small part of what will be available December 8th through December 10th at Rock Island Auction Company's inaugural premier auction at its new state-of-the-art facility in Bedford, Texas. We'll see you there.